best of the politicians from India, best of the speeches about the country's growth plans, and a huge relationship development, uplift in relationship between India and Germany. Thank you once again. Let me now make my presentation. Now, from the human-induced warming reached approximately 1 degree centigrade above pre-industrial level till 2017. And it is expected to go to 1.5 degrees centigrade by 2040. You have already seen the way environment is behaving, the way glaciers are melting, so on and so forth. And if we all collectively do not do something substantial, then we are in for a much, much larger problem. By 2040, we will already be at 1.5 degrees centigrade, and while the global targets are 1.5 degrees centigrade by end of this century. So something substantial is required to be done, and in COP, all of us have made various commitments and need to follow that. It is not only for the nations who have committed about it, it is about all individuals, all individual companies who have to make commitment and who have to do their bit so that in totality we are able to achieve these goals. Now when we come to India, last year we produced around 141 million ton of steel and we generated around 358 million ton of CO2. Like typically in India, we are generating 2.5 ton of CO2 per ton of crude steel production, while global average is around 1.91. Global average is 7% of total CO2 emissions in the country are from steel sector, while in India it is 12%. So we need to do much, much more, and we find there is a huge potential to do much larger things in India as we are blessed with so many positives. Now, if we do not do anything, we leave the situation as it is. As a country, we are planning to create capacity of around 300 million ton by 2030, and the production may be around 255 million ton. And if nothing much is done, then we are going to double our emissions by 2030. So, if we need to do, we need to act, and we need to do something substantial. Now, this is basically a flow diagram of an integrated steel plant where the first portion, which is in a box, is basically iron making, where you produce by blast furnace route with coke oven, sinter plant, pellet plant, hot metal. And this is subsequently converted into steel by BOF, EOF, or electric arc furnace, and then subsequently refined and rolled to produce steel. In the first portion, almost 70% of emissions are there, and in the rest, it is 30%. So, what we did, that we first attacked the 30%, which we believe is a low-hanging fruit. What we did, we converted all our energy, what we are using in our plant in Pune. We have two steel plants, one in Pune, which is based on electric arc furnace. Other plant is an integrated steel plant in Hospet, Karnataka, which is an iron ore bowl. So we changed 100% of our RE energy to RE energy, changed 100% of our RE energy to RE energy from thermal energy. We eliminated 100% of fossil fuels which we are using in our plant and converted them to either RE-based operating down to around 190 kg in scope 1 and 2 per ton of and fourth is converting into steel, EF, SF or induction furnace. Now renewable energy technology, equipments, this is part is exceptionally well developed in the country. Like we had set up some 82 megawatt of solar and wind energy plants, which has helped us in taking care of our 100% of RE energy plant. The second part is green hydrogen production. Now, lot of work is going on in this. At certain level, this is already getting produced. Mr. Tripathi has mentioned in the morning, lot of production of hydrogen will start happening in the country and has already started. But a million ton of steel plant typically requires almost 65,000 tons of hydrogen. And hydrogen is very difficult to transport. So one possibility is you have hydrogen production manufacturing along with the steel manufacturing facility and RE power plant, you have to bring RE power to produce RE power based hydrogen, or you produce hydrogen somewhere else, convert it into ammonia, bring ammonia to your plant and again dissociate ammonia into hydrogen and nitrogen, which makes it further expensive. So this need to be really worked in a manner that it becomes cost competitive and you are able to produce at the steel plant site. Third part is DRI making. Now basically with natural gas, DRI manufacturing process is very, very well established. It is there in India since more than 27, 28 years. But in India, we have an issue related to first, availability of the gas. Number two, availability of gas at competitive price. But this may not be the situation in many other countries, so this can be done. And the technology, this itself can reduce CO2 footprint by almost up to 40-45%. And this process itself need to be tried to use 100% of hydrogen. There is already a plant running in Sweden. It's a pilot plant operating at 1 ton per hour production and it is doing well. But then at a large commercial scale, lot of work is going on, but one need to really produce. And once this DRI is produced, then this DRI can definitely be melted in EF or SF and green steel is produced. Eventually, some such process need to be really developed where from iron ore you can produce green steel. Now, let me talk about green steel at Saarloha. Now, a brief overview of Kalyani Group. We have a group sales turnover of around $4 billion. We have manufacturing footprint at 23 locations and quite a few in Europe also. We have market cap of greater than 14 billion and a workforce of more than 12,000 people. We are manufacturing steel for various critical applications which requires steel which is highly clean and with very high level of properties including fatigue strength. We are producing for aerospace, outer space, defense, nuclear, oil and gas, submarine, railways, wind power, automotive. Many of these sectors are new age, which are really helping us in supplying steel to them, to remain in high value added steels, and at the same time, these are the sectors which are looking for green steel, of course, beside automotive. On that, automotive is basically our largest sector. Now we manufacture steel through electric arc furnace route. We have a capacity to produce 204,000 tons, and this 100% of capacity we are able to produce green steel. We have started producing since last more than 2 years, and yesterday Mr. Scindia was there. Subsequently, I will show you a photograph. He was the person when he was steel minister who graced our occasion while launching the green steel. Now, as far as our manufacturing facilities are concerned, we are melting in electric arc furnace, which is 100% powered by RE. Then we have secondary refining in ladle furnace. We have vacuum decasing, VOD, casting. We have the best and the largest caster in the country. We do ingot casting up to 70 ton, and we have secondary refining processes like slag refining and vacuum arc remelting. We have several rolling mills, heat treatment, finishing, and almost all the testing facilities which are required. Now, these are some of the grades which we produce for various sectors, and a good portion of our steel is coming to Europe in the form of components, and as well as to US. Now, when we talk of green steel, we talk about scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. As I mentioned before, scope 2 we made zero basically by uses of green energy or renewable power. Scope 1, we changed our raw material mix, and we are largely using scrap. We are taking back scrap from all our customers. We are also, like you may be surprised, we sell steel to countries like US, and at the end of life of the component, that component comes back to us in India for remelting. Now this circular economy, which we have adopted very heavily in our plant, is really helping us. So in a way, we are basically conversion agents. And it is highly sustainable because the same material keeps moving rather than bringing fresh material. Now, as I mentioned before, fuel mix today is basically biofuel, or all our furnaces and all are running, which were running earlier on furnace oil or PNG, are today running on electricity or biofuel. Now, this is the photograph of our launching ceremony. Mr. Scindia, you can see, yesterday he had made a speech, and the complete steel ministry people are there. We have created two brands. One is Kalyani Ferresta, where it's a low CO2 steel, where we were committing 190 kg when we started 2 years back of CO2 per ton of crude steel, and 0.35 tons of CO2 per ton in the rolled product, and by utilization of 100% of renewable energy. And we also have a grade, Kalyani Ferresta Plus, where whatever is the residual CO2 that is offset by purchase of equivalent carbon credits to achieve carbon neutral products. But this is all scope 1 and scope 2. We did not stop here. Now, many of our customers in Europe has started asking for scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 in totality. And we are already started supplying crude steel with less than 400 kg of CO2, and various grades of steel which has alloying elements also, like for example bearing, with only 510 kg of CO2. These are among the best figures in the world. We already have now a tie-up supply arrangement with some German companies, and we are already supplying green steel to companies in Europe. Now, when we thought of producing green steel, we thought maybe people will not believe us or trust us that we can produce this, we can produce with such low CO2 footprint. So, we hired the best inspection and certification agency, DNV, based in out of Netherlands, and they are the people who are certifying every heat of our production of green steel. Now, you may be a little surprised. The German government delegation led by Mr. Stephen Wengel, Parliamentary State Secretary, Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action, Germany, on 26 July 2023. He visited us with his complete team, and I don't have words to explain the way he appreciated our this initiative, and he really said that this is the thing we would like to do in Germany as soon as possible, and how we can cooperate. And TV9, without knowing this, has already started some level of cooperation, some level of integration between the two countries. This is our supply agreement, photograph of supply agreement with ZF. We are the only supplier to them, and they want to be assured of a large supply of green steel from our plant. They did very extensive verification and compared us with the rest of the world for production of green steel before signing this MOU. Thank you very much, and it will be a pleasure for us to work with German companies for development of green steel, or supply of green steel as well as components made of green steel. In fact, this is one offering to all our customers, that if you are planning to buy, you did not buy subsequently, you are planning to buy steel from us, green steel, then we can support you in producing green components. So whatever is the technology, whatever is the support required, there is no charge for that, and we will support you for doing the same. Thank you very much. Thank you, TV9, once again.
Requesting Mr. Goyal to please stay on stage, requesting Varun Das and Roman Casper to please take the stage to felicitate Mr. Goyal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goyal, for being our goalkeeper today and helping us understand how to defend against the challenges in sustainable steel production.
That's right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the State Showcase here at the News9 Global Summit, beginning with a state that's very close to my heart, the state of Karnataka. Padmaja, ninge Kannada gotta?